Hi, 8th grade. This will be my last video of the night, and then I am going to be working on some 7th grade stuff, and then I get to go home and have some supper. So I think I'm pretty excited about that. So we're going to be working on section 8.3, which is circles. Now, there's a few vocabulary terms, but I thought the easiest way to do the vocabulary was to just show you a picture. And if we go back, you want to go back to the activity where we found the value of pi that I think we did on Thursday? Might have been Thursday. Okay, so here, this value right here along this line is called the radius. The radius is half of the length of the circle. And this whole measure here is the diameter, so that to here is called the diameter. And the diameter is always twice the length of the radius. So the diameter equals the radius times 2. Okay? The whole length around the circle is called the circumference. And of course the circle itself, which means this center point right here, every point on the outside of the circle will always be the same distance away from the center as any other point. So if I pick a point here and a point here, they're both going to be the same distance away. So if I drew a radius to each of them, it would always be the same length. So, formulas. The area formula is always going to be equal to pi, which is what we found on Monday. Pi is always equal to 3.14 blah, 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 blah. But we only care about the 3.14. On a calculator, the pi button is usually located over here. So if we, on our calculator, if we typed in pi, it'd give us 3.141592654. I once had a friend memorize that up to 500 digits. Kind of crazy. But anyway, the area for formula for area is pi times r squared. So you square the value of r, your radius, and you multiply it by pi, and that'll give you your area. Well, down at the bottom, the perimeter formula for a circle, perimeter is the same thing as circumference. So if we took our circumference and set that equal to, now there's two different formulas here. You can go pi times the value of d, or the diameter, or you could go pi times 2 times r. Okay? Both of those are the same thing because the diameter and 2r are the same thing. So let's do a few examples. We have a couple circles here. The first one has a radius of 5 because this is halfway through the circle, and it wants us to find the area and the perimeter. So on the top circle, the area is going to be pi times r squared. So if we write in pi times 5 squared, the area is going to be equal to 25 pi. When you get a number, you always want to write pi second. And if I wanted to know what 25 pi equaled, I would go 25 times the value of pi, which is 78.5-ish. Okay, so I'll make a little, because it's not equal to, but it's close. You need to be able to always do 25 times pi and the 78.5. You need to be able to figure out both of those. The perimeter of the whole thing is going to be 2 times pi r. So pi times 2 is going to be, or 5 times 2 is going to be 10. So that's pi times 10, or 10 pi. And 10 pi is going to be about 31.4. Okay? So down here at the bottom, now if this is 8, that means the radius has to be 4, because the radius is always going to be half the diameter. So the area for that circle is going to be pi times 4 squared, which will give me 16 pi. And 16 pi is just about 50.3. Okay, and the perimeter, well, they gave us d, so we know it's going to be 8 pi. And 8 pi It's going to be 25.1. Okay, if you have questions, please ask me. But if not, I'm going to have you do these two on your own and see what you get. Okay, so let's see how we did. On this top one, the area should be equal to 16 pi, which 16 pi is approximately 50.3. And the circumference, is going to be 8 pi, which would be about 25.2, somewhere in that range. Okay, oops, should be somewhat equal to. Alrighty, this down here, if this is 12, that means this value is 6. So the area will be 36 pi. And 36 pi is 113.1. And the circumference will be 12 pi. And 12 times pi will be 37.7. Alrighty. So now it says, with a circle with a radius of 4 centimeters, find the area and the circumference. Well, for this, all we would have to do is draw our own circle. And we know the radius right here has to be 4. Whoop, the radius from there to there has to be 4. And that has to be 4. So the area is going to be 4 squared, which is 16 times pi. And we found that one to be 113.1. And the circumference is going to be 8 pi, which we said was that was 50.3. Oops. And the circumference was 8 pi, which is 25.2-ish. Okay, it's an estimate. So for this one, you have a circle with a diameter of 4.5. I want you to draw it out and do A and C. Okay. Okay. So here, if the diameter is 4.5, that means the value from the radius to the outside has to be 2.25. So this is where decimals get added in, but that's okay. 2.25 squared is 5.1 about. So it'd be 5.1 pi for the area, which is approximately equal to 16, and the circumference will be 4.5 times pi, which will be around 15 something. 14.1, let's say. Alrighty. And okay, so this is the last one. I want you to try this on your own. So I want you to pause here, and then I will come through and do it for you. Alrighty. So our circle center is going to be at 2, -2, which means we go here and then down right there. If it goes through the point 0, -2, which is right there. Now, the cool thing about circles is we know that every single point on the circle is going to be the same distance away. So to create the circle, we just have to create a circle around the outside and then connect the points. That means the radius is 2. So the area will be 4 pi, which is about 12.5, and the circumference will be 4 pi as well. So this is one of the few, or actually it's the only circle where the area and the circumference will be the same. Okay? So here's some problems to work on. This is 4, 8, 10, 13, so I want you to get 11 correct out of 13 to move on. And this one down here is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, so I want you to get 10 out of 11 right to get your points. Alrighty, good luck.